As long as this object that you want to apply here doesn't go over this edge, as long as it doesn't cross this corner, then you can actually use a projection method, either using a drill method or KO point fit. So we're going to look at one method first using drill. We're just going to say template drill set stencil default. Default is orange color. So we got this. Now what you might think is that you can select that default one and actually, excuse me for 1 minute, because I noticed that I selected the back here and I shouldn't have done that. So okay, so we got that, and let's do that over again. Drill default. Okay, got that. Select the default, and what you might think is that you'll get a very good result, but no. I'm not sure if this is a LightWave thing, but I don't think so. I think any 3D application has this issue. So okay, so we're gonna just thicken this one, just a regular thicken, and you'll see we get some artifacts here. Now if I had subdivided both this object and that object first, this would be better, but then I'd have a mesh that is very, very dense. So well, maybe I could just test it first. So I can subdivide this 1 time, 2 times. Now this is getting to be quite heavy. And the same with this one. Subdivide this quite a lot. So I'll just select these guys here. And I have this one. Do the same thing over again. Drill in the set. Let's see what we got here. Do the same thing. Select the surface and thicken that. Okay. Let's just switch to smooth shape. So the surface area looks great. Looks very nice. But I'm not going to be able to, well, fix this other than that. So if you think this is if this works for you, then that's good. But you see that you do get some artifacts here, and it's not a very user-friendly topology. It's both high-res and you can see these artifacts here. So the question is, do you want to use that method or not? Another method is to project a surface using KO point fit. And you'll see that the topology is good, and the only issue we got here is this area. You can see that we've got some small artifacts. That's not going to be visible in the render unless you do something very special. So, and also you can select these points here. You'll be able to make this edge smooth if you want to do that, or other stuff. So you can tweak this quite a bit and make it more, well, it just works in more occasions. So I think that's a pretty good way to go about it. Now, if you want to get rid of this stuff here, then there is actually a method. I might cover that later on. The method is using a normal map. So you basically create a somewhat similar object to this, and you calculate the difference between this object and the other object. So that should be able to create a normal map that can get rid of this. You might think that you could smooth this, but that's actually very difficult to smooth that out. It basically works better when you're using sub-D or fewer polygons, or rather a combination of those. So it's very hard to get rid of this without using a normal map when using this kind of topology. So the good thing, again, about this topology is that you can, for example, create an edge here and it will work. Also, it's gonna, well, most likely you're not gonna see this artifact, especially if you have got a texture applied to this one, then you're not gonna see it. If this is a glossy object, well, probably you're not gonna see it either. But anyway, I might look at that later on how to get rid of that, but for now, I'm just gonna say that this is okay and go with that. So what have we done here? How do we achieve it? Well, it's not that difficult actually. So I just twisted this object like that, and then I got this object here, and now here comes the kind of tricky part. I think I'll just subdivide this one time, and I'll loop that, make a polygon, bevel one time, and bevel one more time, and delete. Actually, I'm getting closer really to getting this to work. So what now? Is the polygon or is the mesh dense enough? I think so. So we're just going to try that. So again, we're going to use KO point fit to make this work. I could have selected this area in the background like I did earlier, but we got fewer polygons here, so I think this will work just fine. If you use LightWave 11.5 HeatShrink, I'm not sure just how this will work because that's real time as far as I know. So using HeatShrink with a lot of polygons, I'm not quite sure how that will work. Anyway, KO point fit with these settings. So I'm just projecting that surface here onto this one. Again, as long as it doesn't cross this edge, then this method is okay. So we're close to what we want. I might actually want to up-res this one more time. Let's just try it first. So let's just thicken that. And well, I think it looks pretty good. So you can consider if you want to thicken it or not. Also, before projecting this, you could have considered making this topology slightly different. It could have worked to get rid of this artifact, I guess, if I had this like that. Let's see. No. Not really sure how we could have gotten rid of this. But anyway, just loop this and use rounder on that one with these settings. So looks good. Looks like what's going on here? No, okay, it's fine. I almost crossed this edge, but it's fine for now. You might have considered taking this one and quick cutting that one and merging these guys and looping that rounder. Okay, so again, got this topology and it looks good. Now again, it's quite hard to fix this, to clean this up manually. So sometimes it's good to just hide the polygon selection when doing that. Again, smoothing that is not really going to help all that much. In this case, I used a bit low or not that dense mesh, so I should have upped that resolution a bit. So to get closer to this, but you can see that both these cases have this area with this, well, bump. So the only way to get rid of that, as far as I know, is using a normal map. But I think I'll just leave that for another tutorial on how to get rid of stuff like that. I think I used, this is a bit low res, so you might, depends on how large your object is really, but you might have considered using a high res for this orange object when doing this. So it looks more like this. And I think that's about covers it. Again, this works when this is not crossing this edge right here, when we can actually just project that shape onto this object. And of course I can just rotate this back to -30. So that's it. There you go.